All right, so an insulator, it does not allow heat to move easily. An example is, what are my two examples? Plastic and
wood.
Plastic and wood. Thomas, what are my two? Plastic and wood. Yeah, plastic and wood. Eric, what are they? And wood. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, but if we want to heat this room, okay, what are we going to use? A heater. Okay, a heater. Yes. What kind of heat is it going to be? Is it going to be radiation, conduction, or convection? Which one? Radiation? Well, maybe if some sunlight's coming in. Convection current. Yeah, remember, convection is heat that moves from place to place. We're going to heat air with convection current. Okay? Who has a floor heater at home? Yeah, everybody, right? Corian uses the floor heater, right? Now, if you lay on the floor, it's going to heat you up with conduction. You're just going to lay there. It's going to conduct heat into your body, right? But the air, that heat is going to rise, okay, and then the cold air is going to fall. And that heater floor will cause a convection current in your house, and it will heat the entire house. How can your whole house get warm because the floor is warm? See, because of these currents that are generated, okay? Now, if you had a little fan and were to blow a little fan, that will also help along those currents, but you don't need it, but it would make it a little more efficient, okay? All right. So we have convection. All right. If I have two cars, I have a black car and I have a white car in the summertime, and it's hot. It's 40 degrees centigrade outside. And they're sitting here and here. Which car is going to be hotter? Which one's going to be hotter?
Black one.
Ah, the black car. Why?
Because black car is radiating.
Okay, the radiation is going to hit both cars. Why does the black get hotter? You know? Why?
Dark colors absorb radiation better than light colors do.
Yeah, dark color. A dark color will absorb radiation much better than a light color. Okay? In fact, so much so, you can't even touch that black car. In fact, it will burn you if you touch that black car in the middle of the summer. The white car, you can lay your hand on it. It's warm, but it's not going to be so hot that it will burn you. It absorbs so much more energy. Have you ever seen the Middle East, a picture of people in the Middle East, maybe Saudi Arabia in the desert? Do they wear black or do they wear white?
White.
Yeah. They wear white because the white color is going to reflect most of the sun's energy. Okay? It doesn't absorb. So it's good to have a black car in the wintertime and a white car in the summertime, right? So, but, you know, that's the way it is. So, well, a gray. What about a gray car? If I had a white car, a gray car, and a black car, what? Tell me, what? What's going to be? What do you think? That's a good question. Who thinks they know?
Just in the middle.
That's right. It's going to be in the middle. It's going to be warmer than the white car, but cooler than the black car, because the color is not as dark. The darker you get towards black, the more energy is absorbed. Okay, so it will just get warmer and warmer. Okay, so we kind of be in the middle. All right. So dark colors absorb energy, radiant energy, much better than white. Okay. So that's why, in fact, you always see some people on commercials on a black car and they'll fry an egg on on something black. Yeah, it's true. It's really true. You can fry an egg. It's so hot. Yeah, it's so hot. In America, we have a lot of it's called asphalt. It's black tar asphalt for our roads. Now, concrete is not, it's a lighter color, but our asphalt roads are black, and they absorb a lot of heat. In fact, it just starts melting. And yeah, and especially in Texas, where I'm from, the asphalt will start melting, and the asphalt oil will come out of it, right? And so, if you walk on it, it's like, yeah, it just comes off on your shoes and everything. Yeah, when it's really hot, it's really bad.
Teacher, when was the sidewalk white?
Well, the sidewalks are usually concrete. Yeah, they don't have asphalt sidewalks.
Because if you go to the road and
Yeah, it's pretty icky. Well, you were in California, right? Did you ever have a black asphalt road? Did it ever get sticky? You ever remember that? No, you don't remember? Well, in Texas, it does sometimes. I mean, it has to be really hot for it to do that. So normally it's okay. But sometimes when it's really hot, it will actually start get to its melting temperature. Okay, let's talk another thing about heat. What happens to a substance when it gets hot? Do you remember the bridge? I talked about the bridge, and the bridge has little fingers. Why do we have fingers on these bridges? What does it allow it to do? What?
When the street gets closer, it doesn't go like this.
Yeah, and why? What's happening? What's happening to the bridge? It's getting hotter, but what happens when it gets hot? And why does it go together? What's happening? How come it's going together? It's getting longer. It's getting bigger. When you heat up a substance, it will actually get bigger. It expands. So heat causes material to expand. It'll actually get longer to expand. Why? Because those particles are moving faster and faster and faster, right? And they're starting to push apart. Okay, when you cool things down, remember the particles slow down and they come together. Okay? But when you add heat to it, it moves faster and faster. It starts pushing away from each other and actually will make things longer. A bridge over a river, a bridge can grow several inches, maybe up to a foot, depending on how big the bridge span is. Okay, so they have to have these fingers, and in the wintertime they're apart, but in the summertime they'll be locked because the bridge actually gets much longer. Interesting, isn't it? So all of the material will expand. Okay. In Texas, if we don't have expansion joints in our road, they go boop, like that, and they buckle. Yeah, the actual concrete will buckle. And it gets so, the concrete just expands, but there's no expansion joint, and it will just go like that. And the only way they have to come in and tear the concrete up and pour new concrete. It's really hot sometimes in Texas. All right, so just remember heat causes metal to expand. So if you go to a building that on the outside of it, you will see whatever it has, you will see that spongy, kind of this spongy material like this in this window is between the cracks in the buildings. That's because the outside of that building is going to expand and contract when it's hot and cold, and it has to have that be able to expand and contract. Okay. Otherwise, that would be a real problem. Okay. All right. Let's see. It's 2:20. All right. All right. It's quiz time. Quiz time. Let's see. David, what kind of heat transfer do we need for air?
Convection.
Convection, very good. Lily, what do we need for, if we want to heat up toast in a toaster, what do we use? What do we use toast in a toaster? Do you remember? Yeah, radiant heat, radiation, that's right. What if we want to heat up water in a microwave, Admund? What do we use in a microwave?
Convection.
Convection? Not convection, not in a, well, the water itself might have some convection, but what does the microwave use, David?
Radiation.
Radiation. Yeah, a microwave uses radiation. Okay, radiation waves to heat up. I say you need a question. Let me see. If I have a metal pan and a wooden and a plastic handle, what's that plastic handle for?
Insulator.
Yes, insulator. It's going to be an insulator. So to keep your hand from burning, right? Okay. Now the other thing you do is, does anybody's mother have a mitt they put on their hand? It's an oven mitt to hold hot things. Yeah, whose mom has that? Okay. Why do they use that? Why?
Because it's hot.
The mitt's hot?
No.
Whatever they touch is going to be hot, right? So they use that mitt. What does that mitt do? It acts as a what?
Insulator.
It's an insulator, absolutely. It's insulating your hand from that heat. So the heat is here, the mitt's here, and your hand's here, and it's going to stop the heat from hitting your hand. Now, if you hold it long enough, or sometimes if you get that wet, be careful with that. If you put on, moms, if you ever put on a wet oven mitt, don't do it, because the heat just goes right through it. Because that water will absorb the heat really fast, and it will burn your hand if it's wet. Okay, you can't use a wet oven mitt. It will burn your hand really bad. I've done it before. Okay, yeah, that's not fun. And so the problem is you're halfway to the counter with the hot casserole and your hand's burning off. So you're going to drop it, or you're going to kind of, you just have to burn your hand. So, but anyway, yes.
Did you drop it or did you?
No, I didn't drop it. I put it on the counter, and yeah, it wasn't pretty.
And what happened to your hand?
Well, it burned it. It burned my hand. I mean, it wasn't super severe, but I mean, it was hot. It burned. It put a burn mark on my hand.
And an insulator, isn't it the glass?
Yes, glass can be an insulator. That's why we have windows, right? And you'll have double pane windows. You have a glass on the outside, a glass on the inside, and in the middle is air, right? And so the glass on the outside is cold over here, and your house here is warm. Well, this glass is cold, and the air between, okay, all right, is it keeping the cold out or the warm in? What's it doing?
Warming. Cool down. Cool out. Cool down. Warming.
If I put a coat on, what am I doing?
Warming.
And you're keeping your warm in, yeah. Now, it's going to keep the air from coming in your house, yes, but the point is that it's keeping the warm in, because warm, remember, it travels from what? How do things travel? It goes from hot to
Cool.
yeah, it goes this way. So energy is going to go from hot to cold, okay? It's just going to go from hot to cold. And that's not very